Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Alaikum, brothers and sisters. Suleiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant. Break up 7 seals. 1 second, I have a lighting problem here. Brothers and sisters, some very heavy days ahead. Those prepared for it, glorious days, days of victory. Those who have not prepared, or those who are resisting those days, dreadful, beyond comprehension. And these people here, who I just played, they're obviously guilty of that. Obviously. Anybody pay attention, they distort scripture. They do it openly. Don't hide it. They talk about Abraham and covenant, but they tell you we're not going anywhere. They're calling God a liar, open to his face. Because God said, we're going home after 40 years. And it says specifically Arabia. But they say we aren't going anywhere, and they refuse to say that part of the scripture. They say the first part, and they use that to accuse our people. Oh, see, you're sinful, you're wicked. That's why, we end up over here. That's not what scripture say, but that's what they say. That's what they say. So, in the message of the covenant, it says clearly, after Elijah, you should be looking for the message of the covenant. They never talk about it, never, ever mention it. It's clear, it's right there. Message of the covenant is the one that you should be seeking. No mention of it whatsoever. You tell Elijah that part. So it's clear they're guilty. It's no if, answer, buts about it. It's not a questionable call. They're out, period. It's not even close. They weren't even close to first base. Out. So anybody that hears this and look at that and they're still with them, that means they're demons, fools, or they don't give a damn whether they're agents or whatever, because it's clear. Those two things right there that will destroy everything Farrakhan's talking about. It means many other things too. Like it says, be not deceived, the great falling away will come first. It makes it very clear, do not be deceived in any fashion. But Farrakhan said it's opposite. He said because he's exposing the message, the synagogue of Satan, now everybody's falling away. And it said, it's very clear. So if you're deceived by him, it's because you want to be, or you're a demon, or you just don't give a damn. These things are very clear. Very clear. So it says, there will be afflicted with the most sincere. Most means most. Doesn't, I don't know what language you're talking about, but most is the most. I got the most, I got more than anybody. The most. I got most of it. The most severe chastisement is reserved for them and all those with them. And those are things you have to argue about. They're very clear. If they still debate me, I'll destroy them in a second. I say, what about this? Oh, well, what you going to say? Well, scriptures, you got to say, well, we got to talk about modern times. Where do you get that bullshit from? The scripture is for modern times. Scripture's okay when they lack the part they don't lack. Oh, well, it's corrupt. Well, if it's corrupt, then why you quote another part? If the cake got shit in it, why eat any part of it? If it's shit in the cake, why eat any part of it? Shit, discard all of it. Because why me eat this piece? But that piece, Anyway, Bones says I got a lot to talk about, and I'm sure I'm not gonna get this through one today because I'll be at 3 or 4 hours. See, I'm doing this by myself, brother and sister. Hold on. This is by myself. I'm 76 years old. It takes hours to put these things together. It takes research, careful thinking, put it together, checking it, testing it. Right? I do it by myself. And I've been doing it for 30-some years. When I got the injury, my children were small. So people say, well, I got children. My children were small. The oldest daughter was born in 79. It makes sense. She's 11 years old at that time? The youngest one, I think, is about 2. Maybe 1, somewhere around there. Youngest one? Yeah. Yeah, about 1 or 2. So one reason why I'm an example Because just about anything excuse anybody can come with, I've been in it. But I kept going. I've been thrown in jail. I've been sick, right? Orphaned by 14, half orphaned by 9, bad marriages, hateful children, you name it. Mm. So anybody come with an excuse, what excuse you gonna come with? See? You can't. And I say, okay, well, how did it happen to me? See? They don't understand the power of what's going on right now. This stuff was planned out perfectly. Now, I said, I ain't asked for this, and I don't even want to do it, tell you the truth. But I'm not doing it half-ass. If I decide to do something, I'll do it 100% whether I like it or not. I decided to do it, and I am. And I'd be the last one to step up and say, pick me. I mean, when Elijah asked me to be a minister, he didn't personally ask me, but the minister Yusha did. He was the one that so-called at Mishmael's place. I didn't want to do it. I don't be a minister. I just want to help the messenger. I wasn't trying to build myself up. I was trying to help him. I gave him 100%. 100%. And when I got sick, I realized I fasted too much. I was overdoing it. I mean, I was like 100%. They felt, man, I was like 1 meal a week and stuff, right? I was hallucinating. My blood sugar went too low. Ended up in Hawaii because I was hallucinating, seeing all this crazy stuff. Took me 6 months to get back out of there because I had no money, anything. I got to get. When I got back home, I was homeless because I had any money. But I got enough money. It's a long story, but I got enough money to get a plane to get out. I got out of here. That's all I had, just enough money to get to Chicago. And to get back from the airport to the temple. And that's it. Nothing. I was homeless. But when I finally got halfway presentable to go to the temple, where you been, brother? They were all the lieutenants and everything, man. They wanted to choke me and throw me out the door. But the Supreme Captain, Raymond Sharif, he said, "No, brother, look at his brother's record, man. When he was taking care of business." I told him, I said, "I just got sick." I told him what happened to me. So he said, "Well, but I can't just come back there. Go look at you." I was raggedy, I was all messed up, right? He said, "I can't let you come back like that, brother." I said, "Try to get yourself together and come because they weren't no welfare. Nobody gave any money nothing over there. So get yourself together, brother. Come on back in." Because the lieutenant said, "Man, we're gonna throw him out of here, man. He ain't been around. We ain't seen him in 6 months, man. He ain't sold my papers or anything." And I said, "No." And he knew about how I just walked away from the military. He knew the military was looking for me. So he said, "Oh, no, leave the brother alone, brother. He's a Class A brother. He's sick." Because Lieutenant May was grabbing me. They were. I said, "Nobody liked me." He said, "No, brother." He said, "Brother, Class A brother, my record." Because I don't F around. When you F around, you F around with your own life. Anyway, look at this. I got quite a few things. I'm sure I'm not going to get through it today, all of it. Right? Check this out.
The new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb. And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass.
He was just said, it's Farrakhan, the one they honorable, the anointed one, Christ. He said the new ruler. What do you mean new ruler? That's what he says. So if you're going to listen to all the stuff, say you should listen to that too. That ain't him. You don't have no hair like lamb's wool. You got hair like the devil's got, like his father got. Ain't him, ain't Master Muhammad either. The new ruler. So ain't talking Elijah Muhammad because he ain't the new. He ain't new. What are you talking about? But he's a black man with woolly hair and dark skin. But they don't pay attention. That come from his mouth. They got photoshopped. Listen, Farrakhan speak for itself.
Gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flay as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes,
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
See how sick that is? Every one of them on that stage knows the lessons. They know that's total contrary lesson. And that's Ishmael's philosophy. Farrakhan's. Right? Pronouncements. There's nothing in Mr. Black Man, how you live, follow America, I say it's arrived, any of it. The lessons, I'm speaking newspaper, nothing that support anything close to what he's saying. Nothing. Zero. Total. It's total against everything Elijah Muhammad taught. And everybody on that stage knows that. Because they can't find anything. See, the question is, wait, all you got to do is ask them, and that's going to happen. See? Because some of them are agents anyway. That's what happened. They'll be confronted and say, okay, show me that video and show me one verse anywhere that Elijah said, or in lessons that support what you just said. Show me one verse, one lesson, anything. Because if you can't, I'm going to get a little hint here, brothers and sisters, right? Maybe I shouldn't, right? But if you can't, shit you espousing, that's going to be your meal for the rest of your life. Think about that one. Think that's a joke? Watch. Watch. It says the lamb, they're not coming here playing old maid, tiddlywinks, bid whist. They come full of wrath. What's that like? It's unprecedented. Like it's nothing you ever seen before. The scriptures can't even explain it because it's unprecedented. Well, I can't say I can't explain it, but they don't get the full flavor of it. Could you? You have no idea just about happening to your brothers and sisters. Muhammad said he couldn't even speak to it. Read the Hadith. I mean, he's a prophet. No? I give credit. I give credit to the man. Man's a great man. He's a prophet, honorable man. Right? Angel Gabriel spoke directly to him. He was given the life-giving Quran that we now recite. And yet he said he wasn't sure he could make it through the judgment. Now, if he couldn't make it, damn. And you plan on playing games here? He went through battles. He was wounded one time because some fool couldn't get it right. See? Wasn't paying attention, wouldn't get it right, and he was wounded, mortally wounded. He was almost nearly dead, nearly killed. Because some fool couldn't get it right. He said, do this, okay, not paying attention, or scratching his ass somewhere. And so he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and almost got him killed. I ain't gonna let it happen here. Okay? Elijah Muhammad suffered hypocrites and everything else. See, he was told he had to suffer many things. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to learn from their experience. You ain't 100%, you out here bearing just like that. Told to give a little leeway. Remember, Jones didn't want to give any leeway at all, so he had to go lose what I would say a chastisement. Right? You wouldn't give him leeway at all. That's a whole nother story altogether. Here's his conversation with the God. I mean, that's deep. When you get in Daniel, you see what in Daniel, right? You know, Darius is master of Muhammad. When you get in Daniel, right? They said everybody had to worship Darius. Penalty of death. And Daniel refused to do it. They threw him in the lion's den. Read the story. He refused to worship the God. And what did God do? The next morning, God went away. Hey, Daniel, what's happening, bro? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, let's get your hell out of there. I was into that. You figure it out. Quiet for the storm. Even the rocks are crying out. Quiet for the storm. And this storm, everybody, I mean, I don't need to say anything anymore. I've been coming this for 35 years. Let me say this. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I didn't put it in here about the tree cut down. But it talked about those dates, right? It says 3 years, and a 4th year, and then she was cut down. And when you put the deals together, the tree wouldn't come until the end of the Holocaust, which is 2019, which started 2020 when the plague came in. Right, so that takes you to 2003, right? And then you got the year, that 1 year is 2004, 2005, 2023, and 2024, and fever cut down to 2025. It wasn't producing. Okay. Nobody pays attention to these things. But see, what that tell you right there? It tells you when the troops got down. It also tell you the year the war will start. I'll leave it there. I'm not going any more into that. I mean, there's so much wisdom and power there, right? And the thing is, and I know that's the reason why you don't get it, because you ain't putting the energy in to get it, because it was designed for you to get it. There's several books in there designed specifically for certain people to get it. So they ain't getting it because they ain't doing the effort it takes to get it. Because designed especially for their mental ability. It's like, I got it. The angel itself. And I haven't been half-stepping. It took me a year to find the key and everything else. By myself with no help whatsoever. I had no idea what I was looking for. I had no idea it was the angel. I was just curious. Now you got help. Tell you it's the angel, tell you what it is, give you examples and everything else, and you nothing. Years and years and years. So who the hell you think you're fooling? Only you're fooling yourself. It was designed for you to do it just like a ladder. But it's designed for you to climb it. Now, if you don't climb it, then that's on you. It was designed for you to figure it out. It was designed for your particular mental ability. Right? Like you have muscles, but you got to use them. So you're not putting the energy in, that's why you're not getting it. That's why I said cut the tree down and just waste time, because it's resistance. And all resistance will be destroyed. It's resistance. Right? That's resistance. If you got to push a car, that's resistance. It's resisting. The more you push it, the more resistance. It's resistance. That's simple mathematics, isn't it? Right for the storm. And now you get people predicting, man, this thing will blow up by September. Because it's clear. I mean, some things just clear. Right? But it's going to soon. And when it does, you know. Because Falls was on his knees. And then get finished from this time, it'll be over. Everybody keeps saying, why did you stop? Why did you stop? Right? Because if another week of that, they would have been gone. Right? And it says, see, people don't read these things. I mean, they pay attention, they read it carefully. It says, men's hearts feeling for fear for those looking after things which are coming on the earth, the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Now, right there, if you understand that, you understand when they say in Malachi, the earth will be burns an oven. They're not talking about the planet, because these people have access to heaven, and that means heaven's got to be here on the planet. So earth got to be some parts of the planet. Because if it means the whole planet, that means in hell we are lost. Because they say there will come and the earth will burn an oven. So what we're doing every day? The whole earth's going to burn an oven. We're all going to be destroyed. That couldn't possibly mean that. That's for the Malachi. We're talking about European countries. America specifically. So why we want to be here? The place going to burn like an oven. See, all these you start thinking these things through. And stuff that just falling out, so it don't make any sense. Because here, men's hearts feel in fear. What powers of heaven? Because something's coming here. Something that's happened near that's coming here. Men's heart fell in fear for looking at those things was coming on the earth. Something's coming here. Right? Because the powers of heaven, right, are shaking somewhere. They see something over there. It's coming here. What do they see? If you understand the whole thing, they see gospel, genocide. It's coming here. After you, that man and woman. See? And see, when you see those things come to pass, look up. For your heads, your redemption will draw nigh. That means if you see this, then shall see the Son of Man come in a cloud with power and great glory. If you see this, right, you got to see the sign for it, right? You see this, you should be looking up. Okay? If you see this, it says, though, lift your heads up for your redemption towards now. Now it's time for your redemption. I said, two people, you got two classes. Somebody's going to be a glorious day for somebody and a struggle day for someone else. So men's heart full of fear, always looking at things coming. What? Because they don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They're going to be failing for fear too. Because they see it coming here. Gentiles coming here, but they don't know. All they know is in other words, they can recognize it's coming here. Something's going to make them recognize it's coming here. Because first of all, remember, they see it happen over there. They see it happen over there. And now something's going to make them recognize it's coming here. There's a couple of things that can make that happen. If they see false spirits going down, and they know why it's up there, right? See? Because it says men heart. Wait a minute, let's look at this again. What's coming here has to be something over here. So are they talking about devils? Because what's going to happen is, right? Something happened over there. It's going to happen. So it's not going to happen to them. So the people hearts failing, it's going to be the people who that whatever's going, it's going to happen to them. You understand? So then it said, well, that's contradictory here because at the bottom here it said you should look up. Yeah, if you understand, you should look up. But if you don't understand it, want me to explain it any better? Okay, I'm going to go a little deeper then. Right? Man's heart is ever fearful. Look at things come up upon the earth. The powers of heaven be shaken. So I gave you one side, but let me look at the other side of it, right? But what could be happening over there? We see genocides happening over there. If something's coming here, but if the powers of heaven is shaken over there, then what would the powers of shaking cause something over here that the hearts feel the fear of? See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. What they see over there that's going to be so terrible that it comes here. Is that because America got kicked out? Okay, they got kicked out of Afghanistan. What? So it sounds like to me, on the first look, right? They're talking about people, they see something over there, it's going to have to, whoever this, it's going to happen to them. So what could be happening to them that they can see happen over there? And we know that as a result of the war. So it's two things. It's two things. There's two sides of this coin. Because Gaza is one side. That's the black folks that are ignorant, don't know what's going on. Now they see us coming here, the genocide. They begin to realize it. But the other side is, right? Remember, false Israel goes down. When false Israel goes down, right? Their destruction will be terrible. So the people look and say, wait, could they think that could happen to them? Well, it depends on how you're looking at it. See, it's hard for me to explain this in core detail because you have to understand the psychology and the motivation of these preachers and stuff, what they be saying, evangelicals, because they're talking about, well, false Israel, that's Christ. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, brother. That's supposed to represent that Christ gonna come back and save everybody. But if they go down destroyed, that means that whole idea was wrong. That they was really Satan. He was helping Satan. Remember it says, see, that's why I'm moving on, brother, because you gotta put all these pieces of puzzle together. And I can start putting together, I spend an hour doing that. It says, those who curse, you will be cursed. So in other words, they was cursing us and blessing them, but they found it was backwards. So it depends on your level of knowledge who that applies to. Because if they were like, oh, we were true Israel, then we're true Israel, then other things, right? I mean, we're going to do to them what they did to us. And they understand the consequences. It depends on their level of knowledge. That's why I don't want to go into all this stuff kind of detail, brothers, because it's, right? I can't get you to understand how much subtraction, so I get into that kind of detail like this. It depends on your level of knowledge, how it's going to affect you. It can affect some black people, some devils. How they see it. Because far as this go down, oh, we in trouble now, because Jesus ain't come back to help us, he come back to destroy us. And now all that help coming, preachers was all wrong and everything, and then you have a black person, right? Genocide. And now you hear them talking about, because they're anticipating, right? So they understand that falsehood goes down, and the sign depends on their level of knowledge again. Then they're going to be attacked. depending on the level of knowledge. The bottom line is, right? The bottom line is that's going to be terrible. That's why the whole point of giving this information, so you have it clear. Because those people right here, the ones that have the knowledge, when you see things that come to pass, you have to see them, understand it. That's why I say when you see things come to pass, you have to understand. Then you don't have to worry. Look up. So the ones that's confused or the devils, them the ones got a problem. You understand? Let's move on. I spent more time than I expected on that one. I'm not going to talk about it. America, my democracy, world dictators, and UN. Hey, everybody say, how is that a democracy? They say democracy. It's all bullshit. I move on. I'm going to get stuck down with this. Counterfeit power. It's all fake power. It says that they would worship the force of arms in Daniel, because they think that's it. It ain't it. It's based on power and pressure. And greater pressure comes lower pressure. I don't care what form lower pressure is. I don't care what form you give lower pressure. It cannot overcome higher pressure. And so this is just the form they give it, military. And what form am I giving higher pressure? The angel. That's where it's coming. Now they can give us weapons if they want to. We don't need them. But that's not the form we're going to use. We use the form we're going to use is, it doesn't matter. If it's higher pressure, it's going to overcome lower pressure. If you understand that concept. That's why they said a method of profiting with just high pressure, because it's all come from the mind. That's the root of all of it. The root of this whole reality is the mind, their mind. So it's mind against mind. It's always that. It's always mind against mind. It's always that. That's why I always send them. They don't send prophets and messing with weapons and armies and stuff. They send them in with the mind, a superior mind. The scripture is the mind. I keep telling those scriptures on your mind, the new mind for your season. The scriptures are the mind you need for that season. It's the software, upgrade you need for that season. Like you get an upgrade on Windows. That's your mind's operating system. That's the operating system for that season. If you come in with it, it's going to override the old operating system. There's a higher pressure. So that's why they come in with it. And I don't care what they got. Military, it doesn't matter. For lower pressure, I don't give a goddamn what it is. It cannot overcome higher pressure. If you don't understand that, you don't understand, okay, what the quality of it is. They got all this quality, but they cannot defeat the angel. Angel, ultimate weapon for this time. Ultimate. I try to teach people this, they don't get it. You got an ultimate weapon, and you can't use it, you don't know how to use it, or you're shooting yourself, whatever. The ultimate weapon. All you got to do is know how to use it. See, as it's written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and bring nothing to understand that, because it's low pressure. The wisdom of winter will not survive the spring. It's worthless in the spring. Nothing they can do. That's what he's trying to say here. And that's what he's saying. You understand? That's under you. That's what it says. He got all the weapons and stuff, doesn't matter. I got the ultimate weapon. It says the Lamb had the ultimate weapon. He defeated 10 horns, defeated everybody. He didn't come with an army. He says he defeated 10 kings all by himself. Who can make war with this beast? He did it by himself. He never said he had no army, anything with him. It even said the God he had the God had some with him. He had his angels. Michael and his angels. It says the Lamb, he rolled alone. She looked around, there was no one to help. He tread the winepress alone. An ultimate weapon. The ultimate weapon. He's the one that destroyed the civilization. Bought a new one, then gave it to the God. That's what it says. Ancient days did it. What does that mean? He's like a man. See, everything backfires on him. It's like a man who flees from a lion and only to encounter a bear. He enters his house and rests his hand against the wall, only bitten by a snake. Will not their Lord be dark and not light, even gloom with no brightness in it? See, for them, remember the other man told you, hold your head up, redeemed. But for them, the devil's right. See? It's all darkness. Everything backfires. Everything they do backfires because that's consequence. They don't understand that. It's terrible, dreadful, terrible day, brothers and sisters. Witnesses. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play this. It's going to run about 10 minutes. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Sorry, could you?
Come out the mother plane. So just it's only about 10 minutes. So now I'm talking about the end.
Yes, sir. Dr. Guy, could you give me how did you become aware of it?
A colleague of mine who I referenced previously, Chris Mellon, he wrote an extensive article about this, that there were other incursions of drones over Langley before this, as well as many, many military installations over the last 5 decades.
And it's my understanding that there's been an ever increasing in number, and I'm trying to think how to say this because I wear 2 different hats. I'm still in the Air Force. So I mean, it seems that they're becoming increasingly brash. And the question that we really
with a non-human life form.
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
I just want to read a couple of things from Mr. Schellenberger's what he gave to us today, because I think this is interesting stuff, and I just want to convey this to you. On USG networks, there exists infrared footage of and imagery of a grouping of vessels engaged in SIGINT and massive collection at night in a specific area of the Pacific Ocean. This footage, which was in close proximity to the vessels, a large equilateral triangle UAP suddenly appears directly over the ships. These three bright points are seen at each bottom corner of the UAP, which is observed to slowly rotate on its horizontal axis. And he goes on to describe that. And I just want to read one more, and I'm doing this because I think it's interesting. Stuff as interesting as anything. So let's get this one here, right here. While performing a routine airspace surveillance and control mission in the Eastern Air Defense Sector, an F-22 fighter observed multiple UAP contacts at mission altitude. Moving to intercept the F-22 pilot noted multiple metallic orbs slightly smaller than a sedan hovering in place. Upon vectoring towards the UAPs, a smaller formation of the metallic orbs accelerated at rapid speed towards the F-22, which was unable to establish radar locks on the presumed hostile UAPs. The F-22 broke trajectory and attempted to evade, but was intercepted and boxed in by approximately 3 to 6 UAPs. And then I'll leave that there, but because I just have no more time left.
On the line. I know many of you have already said this, but just for the record again, just briefly, what do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
I echo my colleague's comment, sir.
Genuinely do not know.
don't know, but we must find out.
None of you? Okay. This next question is
Yes, sir.
none of you? This next question is for Mr. Gallaudet. To your knowledge, have any USOs ever outpaced our submarines?
Yes, ma'am.
At what magnitude?
I don't have the exact speed, but again, a witness came to me, a credible former submarine officer who observed it on sonar data. And this was in the 80s in the North Atlantic during a storm, and it outpaced his submarine by orders of magnitude.
Are you aware of any hotspots that currently exist off our shores in North America?
Not with sufficiently credible data, ma'am.
Okay, we've heard reports of there potentially being hotspots, maybe entry and exit points. Have you heard of any of that?
I have not, ma'am, but my colleague here, Mr. Elizondo, does discuss some USO activity that he's observed in certain DoD databases.
Mr. Elizondo, in regards to these aircraft being piloted by whatever they might be, non-human biologics, would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers, and in other cases they seem to. I came across an email where the word "stalked" was used in a very secure email between Navy officers discussing their ships being pursued by a UAP.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin. I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G-forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is an older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G-forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So I guess, would it be safe to infer that they're living craft?
I'm not prepared at this point to state for the record, is something alive or not, because even that definition, there was a time in science we thought that life required oxygen, and we now know that's not true. There are anaerobic bacteria that thrive in oxygen environments that lack oxygen. And so also same with photosynthesis. When I was in college, I was told everything is derived from photosynthesis as a form of energy. In reality, that's not true. There are things that live off of chemosynthesis. So we're constantly having to reevaluate our understanding of what the definition of life is.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you ever come across reports from people that claim to have firsthand experiences with these entities, whatever they might be, or these aircraft, and then as a result, whether or not they're religious, find that these things will automatically disappear? Anyone, and this is open to any of you on the panel. So just real quick, because I'm running out of time. Lou?
Ma'am, I've always been a nuts and bolts kind of guy. When I was at ATIP, I was focusing more on the performance characteristics and less on the potential occupants.
Okay. The reason I ask is because it seems like, just based on our conversations, that we've had people that say that there are good and bad of whatever these things are. And so my concern from a national security perspective is A, that true? B, are you guys hearing the reports of that? And C, I think moving forward in regards to technology, Mr. Gold, if you can answer this real quickly, some of these aircraft, it seems that they are operating off of energy that we don't currently have. But just yes or no, in your opinion, if we were able to obtain that, would that impact humanity for the better or negative?
Would certainly save us some money on funding on Artemis.
Definitely.
And this is a national security issue, that there is such technology out there. We're not the only country that might have access to it. We don't want to be on the wrong end of technological surprise.
Okay. Thank you guys for your time.
Okay, brothers and sisters, again, they got into it, messed it up. I'm gonna try to play it again at the end of the whole thing. I have to go through it every day. How they did it. It was working fine. So we missed my parts of it, but let's see if I can play it again at the end. About 10 minutes long. I want to explain this. And some of you may notice, a couple of years ago, I was explaining how a missile can go through the air without, because they was talking about how these things was moving, and there wasn't no sonic booms or anything. I explained just how they do it, how the mother plane, smaller ships can move through the air, through the water, with apparently no resistance, no sonic boom, anything. And immediately after that, they started talking about hypersonic missiles. Is that a coincidence? A couple years ago, you never heard anything about hypersonic missiles. Go check. You heard anything about hypersonic missiles before a couple years ago? I showed what you need to do to make it happen. Also, I talk about this, but I never say what the motivation is. So what's happening here is, okay, I got another problem. Hold on, brothers and sisters. This is really aggravating. They get in there messing my videos up. That's not the correct one. Hold on, brothers and sisters. What the hell? Let me move this down here right now anyway. I don't know how they're doing it, because it's right when I look at it here. That show it there, it's not right. Let's move this right now. Amazing. Try it again. This first. First. Oh, wait a minute. Why is that? Okay. I see what happened. See how they did it. Let them do it this way. Second round sisters. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it was cute, but anyway, makes me like I'm a conspiracy theorist because stuff keep happening like this. So, well, they have their thing. See here. Now, if you notice, this is this is a functional drawing of how a mother when one of the whole ship exactly, but any all the ships are still they work on the same function, right? So say it's one smaller ships, right? But see these red right here? See red on the left? Okay, that's okay. First of all, you see the blue here, that's the outside. Then in within it, right? I mean this is it's two parts to it. The inner side and outer. The engine, the motor move this thing, right? That's in the outer side. And so the engine turns on the force that this red arrows is the force that moves it this way. That's why it moves in right angles, right? Because up moves in right angles instead of, right? It can move like that, but mostly it moves right angles. Okay. So that's okay. So, but when you have that, like if you're driving in a car and you step on an accelerator real fast, you see it push back against the seat, right? So because that's the reaction. Let's say you step on an accelerator and you all of a sudden went 500 miles an hour, it's like that, man, you might crush you. That's why you see these movies where they're going into space, they rock on, and you see it, all of them, the face distorted and everything else on the street. Yeah, because that's the reaction. They're pushing it, but you've got a reaction that's pushing you back. So therefore, if you go fast enough, it's crush you. Because the faster you go, the greater that force is going to be. Acceleration force. See? So it's a limit to how much a human body can take. That's why they build planes certain ways. Limit, plus also limit how much stress a plane itself can take. Right? Takes off, it's going to have the resisting forces. Now I'm not talking about the air. I'm not talking about the air. I'm talking about just mathematics. Every reaction has opposite equal reaction, right? So when it does that, you see the white one's on the left here, on the right. Okay? So that's what's pushing the reaction to this. To the red here. It's pushing these back, we push these back against the wall. Push it back against the seat. So to keep that from happening, you force to neutralize that force that's doing this. See? But it has to neutralize the force within here. Because this force can't be a part of this force out here that moves this thing. Because then all you do is increasing this. So this is the force that's creating this. It's pushing you against the seat, right? And this is the force, right, that's in same kind of force, but it's within. It's in here. It's not part of what moves this thing. It's just with a force, whatever jam. I'm not telling you what the force is. Called a proton engine, but it's not magnetic force. There's a force, right, that motivates this, that defies gravity, what seems to defy it. So that's what happens. And so therefore, when it happens, then this don't feel anything. Because this neutralizes this, so you can step on the gas and go 10,000 miles an hour and don't push against the chair because you got to neutralize the force and push him back forward. But it has to be on atomic level. Has to be on the atomic level. That force has to, because that's what gravity acts. Gravity only acts on atomic level. I'm not trying to explain all this stuff to you, but I'll just give you some idea. That's where it works. So they need to find out. Well, they're trying to find out what forces can do this. What force can, because this here force right here doesn't need any fuel. It's like a magnet. Magnet this has a force, doesn't need any fuel. This force they have here doesn't need any fuel. Okay. It need to control it. So it moves it, and then it leaves at the bottom of the same thing. It move it up, this force moves up, and then you need a counter force here, right? To neutralize. But this is what happens to you internally to neutralize that, so you don't feel it upward or downward. No matter how fast it goes, you don't feel it. You don't, and that's what it said. Because something happened with the one I played. It was playing fine this morning. Now it's not playing. But one time he says that I think he said 6 G's. 6 G's is 6 times the force of gravity. Right now, you're walking around this force of gravity, right? See, that's holds you onto the ground. But if you say 2 G's, that means if you weigh like 100 pounds, well, you may feel like you're 200 pounds. Just in general. Don't hold me to it. I'm just giving you an idea. So with 3 G's, it's like you weigh 300 pounds. So you walk around me, oh man, that's like one. You can walk on the moon. It's like easy because it's not. The G's are lower than the Earth. If you went to Jupiter, you'd be crushed because the G's they're like 10, 20. So you get on a scale, you'd be like, well, but like where it's like 1,000 pounds. You don't have the muscles to handle 1,000 pounds. It'll crush you. You went to Jupiter. You understand? So what he's saying is, he says these vehicles. He says these planes and the people can normally take them about 6 G's. And that's way right. I mean, now you're at extreme pressure, 6 G's. He says they go 1,000. They go up 1,000 G's. They said they can't. It's not. They haven't anything close to it. These things. That's like if you was going down. Say for instance, you was going down the highway. Also, you step on the gas and you went from 60 to 1,000 miles an hour. It's like that in 1 second. It will crush you. That kind of force, man. You went from 60 to 1,000 miles an hour. Say you went, when they talking about like you were 60 to 10,000 miles an hour, just step like boom. It will crush you. That's he's saying. He says 100 times, 1,000 times more G's than his plane. I think he said, oh, put like 1,000 G's. That means this thing could be more than 1,000 miles an hour, or 10,000 miles an hour, and stop, then turn, bam, in a second. They say, yeah, what is that? When you have this technology like this, you can do that because you don't feel the G's. All you got to do is make sure you keep it in balance. Make sure whatever force you're doing here, this force here is going to be equal to whatever this is, just based on, right? But you need a counter force. First, you need a force to motivate this, what they don't know what it is. And then you need a counter force within that doesn't have anything to do with moving this thing, just within, right? That applies just to what's inside the vehicle. And that balance, so therefore you don't feel anything. So you move, you're going 10,000 million miles an hour, you don't feel anything. It's like you ain't moving at all. See? So that's why that's how they do it, because they can't imagine how that possibly done. That's the way it does it. See? You just have to understand what that force is. It motivates it. That's another question altogether. And they think I might know. That's why I'm shutting me down again. They think I might know. But they thought I did know. See, they had me down at Gitmo trying to get out of me. And that would be a mistake. Because they put their goddamn hands on me, and Master Muhammad already promised. He already swore. He would not let them touch me. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm not worried about anything. Plus, I have my own protection anyway. It's the angel's ultimate weapon. Farrakhan to my old God's with him and everything else. Was God with him when he got that cancer? At 55? Can you imagine that? I mean, if he was 70-something cancer, 55, that's the prime of your life. God took his dumb ass down for robbing the nation, cursed with a curse. Now tell me, any man listening here, tell me, Cancer, where they rip out your stuff. You wouldn't call that a curse? You wouldn't call that a curse? You call that a chastisement or a test, a trial? But they're going to graft it back in? And Elijah told you the woman is our heaven. That means God just took him places as hell forever. Farrakhan. Anyway, I started to pass on to you, bro. Since I have a whole presentation, I look for it. Explain all this here I did a few years back. But I got some of my stuff archived. And, they've been deplatforming me and stuff, and so I didn't realize I had thousands and thousands of tapes. If I go back and listen to those tapes, bro, I wrote that. I'm running out of short-term memory, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's go on. And like I said, the other one, I'm gonna look at it again and see what's wrong, what happened to it. I'm gonna let the whole thing play. I don't know why it just stopped like that. I put notes in between so you understand what I'm talking about, because they talk about it. And the other thing they said these planes, they said it all around America's nuclear sites, nuclear assets, the nuclear submarines. I told you that's what Max Farmers did, though, because when they see they going down, they're gonna try to blow the whole planet up. That's why. And he says when they go to the around sites, he said nothing they can do about it. He said nothing America can do about it. They go around these sites, and they said planes are there, and they disrupt them. Cause it means they have an impact on electronics and everything else. What's that telling? It means when you're not gonna be able to fire that stuff off. That's why they monitor them. They said they monitor. They said they track their submarines, stalk them, all the nuclear access and everything else. That's where they around the nuclear bases and stuff like that there. To make sure they don't burn the planet down. But that's what they do. That's so evil, so wicked. When they see they about to go, they're going to blow it up, destroy it. And Master Promise not going to let that happen, because what's the point of promise of the promised land when you get this all radiated? So so I'm putting the whole thing, so you see they talk about these different things. And they say they ain't trying to hide it. They said the government actually got pictures of stuff. They said they ain't trying to hide it. They said they come to those sites, planes sitting there looking, scanning, and nothing they can do about it. They said they ain't trying to hide anymore. They said go right there and they can see them right there. They ain't trying to hide anymore. But they hiding from you. See that little thing they had about a year ago? See, you don't understand the level of this thing. Remember all those so-called drones, New Jersey and everything else? Why was it in that area? Well, that whole thing was set me up. Because I was supposed to jump up, oh man, see, that's the mother clips, everything else. When it was just drones. And once I jumped out and said that, they would show it was drones and shit. They show about, see, you don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's just a dummy. He's just making stuff up. I wasn't going to fall for that. See, I ain't stupid like Farrakhan's folks are. Anyway, the point is, right, they see all these drones flying around, all that kind of stuff. How can they take pictures of them? How can they send a helicopter up to shoot them down or whatever? Because it's all bullshit. It was for me to jump up and say, yeah, man, that's motherships. And then once I said that, then they're going to say, oh, man, these are drones. The government put them up there. Well, these drones, everybody can see them taking pictures, and the government don't do anything? They don't send a plane or nothing up at them? If they sent a plane and that plane couldn't catch it, somebody said, well, oh, yeah. But there's this drone that's flying all around. Nobody saying anything. So you think they listen to this message, but they are. That's one of the reasons Trump is skeptical of going over there in Iran, because he knows what I've been saying about it. I've been saying for years. You ain't paying attention, but they paying attention. I've been talking about this war for years. And Farrakhan announced, 3 years ago, Armageddon said, no, you're wrong. It's going to be the Middle East. Abomination, desolation, when they still ain't talking about it right now. That's what's happening over there. Inside. But they write down obituary, because what's doing over there right now is going to happen to them. What they're doing right now, all that genocide and everything else, it's going to come back on them. It's going to be in spades. When they go down, it's going to be horrible. When falsehood goes down, it's going to be horrible. Horrible. Because when this war starts again, remember, they almost took falsehoods out. It showed falsehoods in trouble because they almost took them out before. They had to call stop, pause. Everybody says falsehoods have been gone. They cripple the country right now. So when they resume, that's the end of them. When they go down, right, they're going to be surrounded and seized because American business will be kicked out. They ain't better help them. They'll be cut off from all and everything. They'll cut off food and everything. Like they're doing to the Palestinians. What they're doing is they're writing their own obituary. So that's what happened to them. They're going to be starved. They're eating each other. They're going to result in cannibalism. They have drones flying over. So the whole world could see. The whole world could see. Them attacking each other, eating each other. It's going to be out for the whole world. It's going to broadcast across the whole world. It's like genocides. And nobody's going to say anything. They say, but everybody can realize they reap what they sowed. Nobody's going to have the compassion and mercy for them whatsoever. In fact, people will say, man, the Holocaust, obviously they deserved it. Go ahead. That's like what they say, paying forward. So, you know, that's another I haven't talked about too much, right? Well, I haven't talked about at all. That's another thing the scriptures talk about, paying forward. Right? See? In other words, they know you're going to do something. It's clear that you're going to do it. Right? So, make you pay the consequence for the consequence. Well, I shouldn't talk about that, bro. It says, okay. So I'll put it simple. I know you're going to punch me in the mouth. The consequence, right, is I'm going to do that. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. It's your mouth, right? So I know you're going to do it. So I punch you in the mouth first, bam. Well, I know you're going to have, your consequence going to punch me back in the mouth. Right? See? It's still the same thing. It's just, right? I want to be that way. I want to get you first, whatever. But there's another little caveat there too, right? If I punch you in first, I know you're going to punch me back, right? It's equality. What I do is I get away, but you can't punch me back. Go someplace else. Right? Because I build this negative. I shouldn't go into this process. I build this negative energy. Remember to my quality? So I punch you in the mouth. I know you're gonna punch me in the mouth, right? That's the quality. But if I get away from you so you can't do it, I know I'm gonna get it. I just generate $1,000 worth of negative energy, right? So I won't get about punching in the mouth. I get some other way. Or if I got $1,000, I give somebody $1,000. So now I never get punched back in the mouth. I got you. I don't know, that's too complicated for you. That's why you need to learn mathematics, brothers and sisters. That's the way you fight. Like I tell you, somebody, they send me nasty emails and stuff, right? It's like when you're in a boxing ring, right? Well, if you're boxing, if a person throw a punch and you slip the punch, man, they waste energy. You didn't get hit. But if you sit there and let them hit you, so somebody sending you these nasty grams and all these nasty emails, don't read them. That means they're just throwing punches and they ain't hit nobody. Because once you read it, then all of a sudden it hits you. Don't read it. I tell them right away, I ain't reading that. I know where who's coming from, I ain't reading that. I tell them right away, that makes them mad. Because they threw a punch, it could hit me. It's all mind war, brothers and sisters. You need to learn it. Let me say it again. What's the mathematics? I know you're going to punch me in the mouth. Well, I know you, right? You will cause $500 worth of injury. I'll break my nose, $500 worth of injury, right? That means I can put you back in them. You £500 of injury, right? But I don't want no £500. I don't want to get my nose broken. So I go ahead and punch you, give you $500 worth of injury. I know that you can pay me back, right? $500, right? That's my injury. So I said, okay, instead of doing that, now I got that $500 bill I got to pay. That's consequence. So I give somebody $500. Hey, here, bro. Here's a gift, $500. Cool. I destroyed your power to hit me back. So I got you. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, you got to start thinking mathematically. Keep telling you don't get it. All it's about mathematics That's why spies use mathematics to raise you to gods. The devil thought they was putting you down and feeding you shit. They was turning you into gods. That's going to have them eating shit. Oh boy. Okay, brothers and sisters, see. Now I'm going to go to this. We're talking about Moses, Aaron. This is simple stuff. Them say, these people have nothing to say. They have nothing to say. Because here's Moses, right? This is Exodus. So he's talking about, I'm going to read, I'm not going to, no. This is Moses this is talking about Exodus, right? And this is Moses. And Moses says, okay, where is Moses? And this is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord raise up unto you your brethren, like unto me. Brother, talking about the Levites, he's going to raise up a prophet, right? Up unto you of your brethren. Raise up unto you of your brethren, right? He didn't say it was Levites, of your brethren, right? Like unto me, he shall, right? Could be your brother, because Jacob and he's right, okay. Like unto me, he shall, and you shall, and him you shall hear, you shall listen to him. Remember, that's the one you're supposed to be seeking. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel who spake to him. Mount Sinai, he was the father who received the Lord. Oh, that's no story together, right? But that's Elijah, Moses. And that's what it says in Malachi. He's going to raise up a messenger like unto him, with a messenger of the covenant. He's going to be fulfillment. Right? Okay. And this was Moses, Elijah. Now let's look with Aaron. Right? And you have to think through for yourself, right? Now Aaron, it says, okay, this is after Moses' absence, right? Some of your fathers without obey, but thrust them out, and their hearts turned back in Egypt. See, some of Aaron, saying to Aaron, make us gods to go before us and for the Moses. So, they were Aaron. They say, hey, man, they want to go turn hearts back to Egypt. That's why they talk over there. Oh, we ain't going nowhere. And that was man, we ain't skinny nothing no more, man. This is this. And we're gonna be brothers. They were totally opposite of what Elijah Muhammad taught. See? And that's what Aaron would do. But Farrakhan says Aaron, this would be the person that was doing this in Moses' absence. So that's clear. You don't need slide rule for that. You don't need a computer. Saying to Adam, and I was saying to Aaron, and make us gods to go before us. See, in other words, the originator, remember? Well, this Moses was brought us out of the land of Egypt. We know not what has become of him. And he's gone. You don't know what happened to him. So that means the one that precede him. I say, no, not precede. Succeed him. Get it right. And they made a calf in those days and offered sacrifice to idol and using the words of their own hands. And God gave them up to what worship, host of heaven, is written in the book of prophets. See, God turned away from them. Right? Have you offered me slain beasts and sacrifice, whatever? See what I'm saying? That's Aaron. Look what Aaron did in Moses' absence. He did nothing good in Moses' absence. Nothing. All the stuff to my Aaron, he did it when Elijah was around. But look what he did in Moses' absence. It's very clear. So otherwise, either read the Bible or leave it alone. But remember, they twisted around. Remember I said at the beginning? So this is Aaron. And remember, Aaron did not make it to the promised land. If you extra closely, he died with his own followers. His own followers ripped off. Those with the Lord come with me. They went to Aaron's camp, Farrakhan's camp, and said, those with the Lord come with me. And so all the Levites came them, and that means the rest was left there with Aaron. And they was told to wipe out all the rest that was left. So you don't see Aaron any place after, you don't hear about Aaron anymore. He's lost, he's left in the wilderness too. They don't talk about that, but he's Aaron. Then you got Joshua. See, after the death of Moses, the servant of joy, a Lord came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' sister, saying, Moses, my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, go over to Jordan. Remember, he's leaving here. Farrakhan ain't going nowhere. It's a message of the covenant. He's fulfilling the covenant. Right? Jordan and all this people to land which I'm giving to the children of Israel. Remember, not here. Over to Jordan. Every place that the sole of your feet will tread upon, I will give you. And I said to Moses from the wilderness in this Lebanon, as far as the greater river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, great silver toward the going down the sea, shall be territory. That's Arabia. Right? And Joshua does that. And Joshua, right? And Jesus, same name. That's how you say Jesus in how you say Joshua in Greek. The Greek translation of Joshua is Jesus. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Well, I think Farrakhan was forsaken, right, when he had cancer. What worse could have happened to him? What worse could have happened to him? I'd rather be dead. You want to cut me up, tell me like I'd rather be dead. What's the point? Right? Be strong and good courage, for this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I for to this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I swore to your fathers to give them. Swore. But Pharaoh ain't going to be called God a lie. He said, I swore I'm going to give this to him. But that ain't America. America's Eden. That's the land that was. That's the land that was the promised land to the devils. That's Eden. If you look at Eden, it said Eden wasn't in the east. They try to say, well, no. It says they would put eastward of Eden. Eastward of Eden is where Adam was. And when the Europeans came over, where they came to the east coast of America. That's where the colonies were, along the east coast. All the colonies was along the east coast. Right? That's where they brought the first slaves and everything in on the east coast. Only be strong and courage, and that you may observe to be according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from this right or left, and that you may prosper wherever you go. This book of law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. But then will you make your way prosperous, then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you be strong and of good? He didn't be suggesting. You know, he's telling them. He's telling Superman, John, be careful. I have commanded you. Have I not commanded you? He ain't playing. This ain't no game. Be strong and good courage, and be not afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Don't be cowering. Be strong with the angel. Put it out there. Don't hold back. Command. A suggestion. Keep telling you this is no game. Yes, do promised land. The promised land for them, that's Eden. And that's, remember. You gotta understand this. Farrakhan is not seed Abraham. He says father's the devil. He says his grandparents on his father's side were white Portuguese Jews. On his father's side. He's the devil. And you too, actually. That's why he says after work of synagogue of Satan. Satan cast out Satan. So remember, it says Satan be casting out Satan. But ain't that what Farrakhan says he's doing? He says he's casting out Satan. Who did say we cast out Satan? He says Satan would be doing it. I mean, is that clear enough for you? That Satan be casting out Satan. Well, who Farrakhan said he's the only one doing it. He's the only one casting out Satan. Well, then he's Satan done too. He's a Satan too. It says Satan be casting out Satan. It's so clear. It's so clear. Father's the devil. He's the seed of the devil. And so therefore, this is his promised land. That's why he said he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. And Mark, Elijah says, please don't make me leave the country. No, this is his promised land. And he want to hold on to it. And hold on to us because we turn it. Remember he made that song long ago that black man's hell is white man's heaven, or white man's heaven is black man's hell? Right. Because it's hell for us. It's heaven for them. Because we made it a heaven for them. We made heaven for them. If we leave, we're going back to hell again. Remember, they was in Europe, they was in hell for, in the abyss, they was in hell for, they've been all the time in Europe, they was in hell over there. Because that's all they could make. That's their nature. And we turned into heaven for them. They came over here, this is a promised land, right? And the point is, they're the ones that they couldn't hold on to it because remember, God lifted them up. And they couldn't hold on to it. And they brought us over and said, "Don't. The day you eat that tree, you will die." And we the tree said, "Remember, they afflict us." And so that means this year they're going to attack us. This year, that means within the year they're going to be gone. If they eat of it, that means it takes out of existence. That's what when you eat something, you take it out of existence, right? They won't attack us. But see, the reason, let's get too complicated. I shouldn't go into the process. If you kill a golden goose and lay the golden egg, you don't get the golden eggs no more, right? See, we made the heaven for them. We the tree that produced the fruit and everything for them. You get it? We made Eden a paradise for them. They was put here. Right? Okay. Let me go this way. Paradise is when it's like a fish. He's in water. He's in heaven. He's in his own environment. When you are in your own element, you're in heaven. You understand that, right? You're in heaven. You're in your own element. Right? So who's taking out our element? Right? And they was pretty, and we take, and they are the element too, because they're here. They was lifted up and told us, you, right? Because all they was had, none they had but garbage. I mean, it was the wicked over there. And so they come up here, okay, and we made a heaven for them. It was our element. Right? And so therefore, they couldn't maintain it. So they went, attacked the tree, and everything else. What happened to them? They went back into their element, where they was kicked out. And look at what they're suffering with. Hell. They said nothing worked for them. Nothing worked for them. They're in hell. Now they be kicked out in hell because that's their element. That's their natural element, because that's where it was in Europe. They were turned to ash, from dust to dust, ash. In other words, as you were, so you be. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it right. They were turned back to how they were, because they are the inmates of hell. That's why they call them son of perdition, son of hell. That's their natural. It's natural, like a pig's natural state, a pig pen, natural state. But we lift them up because our natural state was heaven, so we produced heaven for them. But they was in control of it. Do you understand? They're in control of it. But then they take us out. You kill the goosey low golden egg, then you don't have no gold no more. They get there. That means now nobody's producing heaven for them no more. And then they back. That's why they got thrown out the garden, then, right? And back into hell. You understand? And then we take it and move back to our promised land, back in that element, and we're back in heaven again. I don't know if that's too complicated for you now. I don't know. I said I'm not holding back anymore, bro. I said I got to go move on. Okay? I've been talking like grammar school for years, for the last few years. But you catch on, you don't. See here. Now, like I said, it took me hours to put stuff together. I needed another hour to make this exactly like I wanted, but I want to get this out today, right? So, see right here, this is where we were. And then the devil showed up, right? Okay. And so they started beating us. They had to beat us in our condition. That's about vectors. So let me give you more understanding of vectors. They had to beat us into this condition we're in. Remember stuff about the roots? They Kuda Ken beat him. They beat Kuda Ken out of him, beat him into Toby with force. Vectors of force. The force they put on us, they took us from this condition, the condition when they showed up, condition, and that arrow showing that's where they beating us. They beat us down to what? They beat us down to that. And now they're happy with us. Because we're in a condition they put us in. They beat us in that condition. I see. Now we're okay now. 20 years. Okay, now, see, that's how vectors work. Now, okay. See? As long as you like that, you're okay. But you ain't happy because you're out of your element. But you like they want you to be. So you're okay. You're a good Christian. Right? You're Toby Greenberg. Right? Jolly Ketchup. You know these names they give people. I don't know where they get these names. Not even African names. Right? Kathy Soap Pop. Right? See? That's right. See what I'm saying? Now they green light. No. That's the whole story in Exodus about serpents was. Say I was going to put all this together, but it was a graphic. But I said it'd been another 2 hours. They had a serpent. The serpent was attacking everybody. They know we put the brass serpent on us, which is talking about. If you understand Daniel, it's talking about the cross with Jesus on it. Look at it. Stop bothering you as long as you had that mindset. So long as you like that. This bum, hey bro, come on over and have dinner. Yeah, I got a job for you. See? As long as you like that. And the Farrakhan tell you, oh, see, because he blamed you for being like that. It was beating that condition, like you mold something, was beating that condition. See? So Farrakhan, see, this is so many facets to this. Farrakhan said, we need to come out of her ways. See? And if you did what Farrakhan told you to do, what would be the consequence of that? And we stay here. See, what's happening? See, the people going to come out of that. But he ain't ready for what's the result of that going to be because he don't know what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. Let me show you what happens. When you try to go back and try to get your names back and everything else, remember Muhammad Ali when his catches created love? So why did they hate him once he changed his name to Ali? Why they suddenly hate the man? They took his license, everything. Why just change his name? Because he tried to get back. Because they beat you in that condition. As long as you're in that condition, you're okay with them. What happens? Yeah, see, that's what happens. You got to get back in that condition. They'll kill your ass. See? See, if you listen to Farrakhan, and you was do like they said, but that's bullshit, he's talking anyway. Is he preparing you what they would do to you? If you did that? Because the only way you could do that, you got to get the hell out of here, or you got to come together, right? Fight again. Well, he said, no, we brothers and sisters. No, if you do that, they're not going to accept you. They're going to try to kill you because the point is, they want you, they force you that, but they want you to stay there. That's the vector. So now they blow your goddamn brains out if you try to do that. I don't know if you understand that, brothers and sisters. They beat us in this condition 40 years. And now they accept you. Right? Because you what they want you to be. They accept you because they want you what you want to be. You what they want you to be. So they beat us out of this condition. They beat us out of this condition, right? Into this condition. Beating us. Red. They beat us in this condition. Farrakhan blame us for being in that condition. They beat us in that condition. And now they accept you because you're in that condition. Yeah, you bro. Go to church. Whatever. And then you got the demons to make sure you keep watching because they can be up close and personal without you realize who they are. They wool sheep clothing. So they ride around you. They keep watching you because they report back to the devil. They mean that nigga waking up over there. Man, watch him. See, they turn you into that. They didn't change it. See, he still got his nature. Just don't have his mind. They didn't take out nature away. They couldn't do that. The demons, that's their children. You might say took nature away, but I wouldn't look at it. I wouldn't call it that way. You could say it that way, the demons. But our people still had the nature in the heart. That's in nature, Islamic nature. It's our nature. They got a Christian mind. And now they happy with you. See? Happy with sisters, all. See? Bend over. They raping them, everything else. No clothes on. They can rape them anytime they want to. Hmm? They beat us into that condition. And then you try to return back to what you was, and boom, blow your goddamn brains out. You know, that's what's going to happen, brothers and sisters. Because what happens is the false sisters go down, and then you realize that who you are, they're going to attack you. Because now you coming back to who you are. They're going to attack you, force you back to where you were, or just kill you, blow your damn brains out. You understand, brothers and sisters? Hope you understand. But they come as burns the oven, right? See? And all you proud, stubborn, she coming. Well, it said this don't say the earth. Right? Anyway, you read your own leisure, brothers and sisters. And look at this one. See what? Okay, I might get through this. I don't know. Let's see. Watch this. Here. Now we was in the fields. Actually, we didn't have a shack like that. It wasn't anything. That was really been a mansion for us. But just say for instance we had a shack like that. Because we didn't. Believe me, I talked to my grandparents stuff like that before they passed away. And they told me they just lock up in a little shed. No bigger than a bathroom, locked the whole family day and night with no heat or anything. Heat each other. And you would go to the bathroom, you did the bathroom each other, lock it so you couldn't run away. But say you had that. So you out there, you picking cotton, and you got the supervisor watching you. That's massive. Right? But say you come and say, hey boy, you ain't slave no more, man. We're gonna pay you. See, I try to explain you what money is. Money is a trick. We're gonna pay you. I'll give you money now. So now you can buy that shack. You can pay your rent on the shack. We own the shack now. You pay us rent for it. Right? And you can maintain that donkey yourself. You got to feed it, take care of it, and everything else. We're gonna pay you to do it, right? And you buy your own food. Now you're free. I'm getting a paycheck now. See? Now I can pay for my shed. And I can pay for my donkey. See? I get it. But then remember, I don't want to get to the money, but that's another angle. Because who controls how much everything costs? Let's say, for instance, you make enough money 8 hours a day to pay for all that. So you have 8 hours a day, you can pay for all that, right? But what if it costs, you need enough money to work 16 hours a day? Maybe 8 hours, only pay half of the cost. You need to work 16 hours. Now you have to work 16 hours a day, man. Let me see. I had to sneeze. Now I work 16 hours a day, man. See what I'm saying? Then you're working harder than you was before. Maybe harder. To get that check so you can pay for this stuff. You're still in the same situation you were before. My master's tricked you. He said, I'm paying you now, boy. You ain't no slave no more. You're an employee. I'm paying you. Oh, man, I ain't no slave, man. I'm an employee. You see what I'm saying? All they got to do is tell you. If they was smart back then, they could have done that. They could have done that. We're giving you money now. I think some slaves did do that. Because remember, some people had to buy their freedom, all that kind of stuff. That's what they said. I don't know. I can't speak to it. Right? I haven't checked it out. They heard. So I don't know how that worked. But somehow they got money somehow. Or must have had some kind of program like that. But anyway, so I'm saying, I'm free, man. I'm getting paid, man. I got me a job. That's a job now. What's the difference? You still got the same thing. They just trick you. You ain't no free than you was before. You working just hard. But then they say, okay, they raised the prices. So now $16, they ain't gonna do it. Oh man, I can't pay for all this, man. I don't have enough money. But I can't work more than 16 hours. So what I do then? Get my wife out there. Get her to working too. Sound familiar? Sound familiar, brothers and sisters? Because remember, that shack you living in, that apartment, who controls how much money you pay for that? Because I remember when I was a child, a kid goes to the store with a quarter, and they could buy enough candy to turn to a chocolate cake. Yeah, so much sugar in them. I ain't seen a quarter in about 20 years. Quarter will buy you nothing but just waiting down your pocket. Remember you used to have 5 and dime stores? 5 and dime, not no dollar stores. You go in there, 5 cents and a dime will buy you stuff. 5 cent nickel, a dime right now would just get you in trouble. So they control how much you pay for this stuff. So yeah, man, I make $30,000 a year. Oh, really? What you able to buy for that $30,000? Mortgage? Rental car? I mean, how am I working? And mom's got to work too? You don't get it. You ain't free. Read about Harriet Tubman back during when you was in the plantation. She said she could have freed more slaves that they realized they were free. So if you didn't realize you was free then, you don't show them that really not now. You're still a slave. You just change the name. You're still a slave. Because we wasn't doing any stuff before we came here. We didn't work 9 to 5. We didn't need Social Security and that stuff. It was taken care of, was healthy and everything else. And they show you the pictures of blacks that was in the suburbs. They call them tribes. What about the blacks in the cities? They don't tell you about them. They don't, wow, y'all was savage as nigger. You seen these devils walking around now? In the streets in their panties? In their panties. They wear more clothes going to bed than they wear out in the street. Panties. And they tight. They tight in regular panties women used to wear, right? Okay, they would cover them. But now these show all the creases and everything. And some of them, they wearing panties, skin color. So you don't even really, you think they have nothing on. Well, they really don't have anything on, do they? So watch this. So here you are right now, and you got a car, you got a job. That's your plant. We just call them plants. Why? They trick you, same with the chitlins. They still sell you shitlins. They just put a C there. You don't get it? It's still shit. They say you stupid, you ain't gonna figure it out. Because you don't see no white folks eating shitlins. They don't eat it. They know what it is. They didn't fed to us in trials like a pig. Exactly. And just go out there and look up Google and look at Oprah's papers. Even her, and she's a demon. She went ahead and did pay somebody to do the research. And they got the letters from people before they all died, slaves back in the 1910s or whatever. There's still some alive. They told you how they really lived. They didn't live in no shacks. They didn't live in no chimneys. But they didn't have no plates and forks. They fed just like they fed hogs. Here you are right now. So you got a supervisor, you got your car, you got your raggedy house, and you maybe working 9 to 5, whatever. And now, oh, you can't pay for it. Oh, now you got your wife, she's over at Burger King. Get the bills paid. Does that sound familiar? Sound familiar? What's the difference? You're an industrial slave. You're still a slave. You're an industrial slave. It's industrial age now. Same thing. Now you got your car to get you back and forth to work. It's like you hit the mule. 9% of that car is to get back and forth to work as long as you didn't use it for. You got your ragged ass apartment. You got your supervisor. You don't call him taskmaster, now supervisor. And you don't call it a paddy wagon. You call them police now. Come and check you out. Keep you on them. What's the difference? What's the difference? Still a slave. We're a slave before you got here. We created birds, the bees, and everything else. They're all free. Everything we made is free except us, that we made it. And you think you're doing something because you're an employee. And of course these demons out here, black-faced devils, they keep encouraging you to go, hey man, yeah man, it's cool. Keep you blind, like Farrakhan. Because Farrakhan, he pray Allah. His worms eat your ass. He's the one that destroyed the whole thing. I was there. He destroyed everything Elijah Muhammad built. Now you're going to tell me bad you because you ain't doing anything. Well, he destroyed everything you did. And he made money off of it. He didn't give you any of that money back. He didn't come apologize to anybody. Now he's mad because you ain't producing it for him. Okay, let's go to a couple things here, bro. System will close out. Spirits against us. Okay, let's move on. Read a couple things here. Okay, he said to this people, behold, the people of children of Israel are more mighty than we. That's us here. Come, let's deal wisely with them. He said, multiply and come to pass that when they fall out of war, they join our enemies and fight against us and get them out of the land. Leave here. Isn't that what it says? Do double, do them, and then get the hell out of here. That's what they fear. We're going to do a comment, but you rise up. They see you rising up, turn back to where you were. They'll try to get rid of you. They know you the consequence of what they've been doing. Every act, that's why when they say eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, they're telling you that you the personification of the consequence of what they did to you. So you got to do it back to them. You don't understand the depth of what they're saying there. And they know if you rise up, then you're going to do to them what they did to you, and plus you're going to do it in 1 year. Which is awesome. Because they 5 years of hell that you're going to rebuild business back to them in 1 year. Okay? You're going to fight again, then you're going to get the hell out of here. Not stay here. Get up out of the land. That don't mean come out of my people. Come out of religion and stuff. But no, listen to those clowns. Their price. And one thing they tried was abortion. Abortion. See? That didn't work. Throw them in the river. You understand Andrew Keefe for that one? That's a war they was planning with China. They didn't want to be a nuclear war. They wanted to be a conventional war. We outnumbered 100 to 1 because like it's 2 billion people in China, I think, and 300 million here. What's that? 10? About 7 times 7 to 1, something right there. And so they would have to draft. They have to draft every able-bodied person means they draft almost every black person, because the rest of them got in jail. And they would even let the ones in jail out. If they want to fight, and then you're just going to lose, they'll send you over there and you'll be losing. That's the end of black people here because you got no male, they can finish raping the women and you ain't got no males producing anything. Because almost all of them gone. What's left, they can wrap them up. You say they wouldn't do that? You better go back and check the Civil War. Because Civil War wasn't about freeing you. It was about economics. I'm not going into details. But bottom line, when the North was losing, somebody told Lincoln, well, if you tell these Negroes, right, that you would free them, they fight. That's when that came up, because they would lose, so they said, okay. So and then black folks went there and helped fight and helped them win. And then when they won, go check out what happened to them. Soldiers. They put them all in concentration camps and starved them to death. They ain't get no 4 eggs and a mule. Check it out. You got 40 years with these people and you ain't figured out yet? That means you're going to be lost. You got to overcome these people if you want to survive. That's what, anyway. See, because we got to get back to the mental. These people are emotional draw. They're emotional by nature. And so that's what you got to overcome them, move up to here, mental. If you can't, that means you lost. Understand? Maybe so, maybe not. See? God there remain silent. Do not be silent. Remember, oh, Farrakhan, God don't be silent. Do not be still, for behold, your enemies make an uproar. Those who hate you have exalted themselves. They make shrewd plans against your people and conspire together against your treasured ones. They have said, come, and let us wipe them out as a nation. The name of Israel will be no longer remembered. They ain't talking about them, over to us. Wipe us out as being a nation. And they tried doing it so Holocaust. They came pretty close to it because they turned most of half our nation into demons. Half of the black people in America are demons. Raping our women and everything else. But they have a spirit together, one mind. They make a covenant against you. Even the Ishmaelites. I told you the enemy too. They're on board with this. Because we rise up, we take our country back. They betrayed us. That's our land. It says Arabia. Who's got Arabia? Ishmael. Well, they are brothers. They look down, it's like they turn white so they can go along with that BS that false Israel is us, is Isaac. You see, we're white. They white. They weren't white 500 years ago. You got a lot of them dark over there now, but you don't see them. Prophet Muhammad wasn't white. He wasn't even close to being white. That they went on pro because remember they threw us into Egypt, hoping that we would never rise up again. That's why it's paying Farrakhan. Stop talking about we going back there. That's what it's paying him to tell him, stop talking about y'all going back. They couldn't get Elijah Muhammad to do it. They tried to pay him off, he wouldn't do it. They tried to get him come over there, try all kinds of stuff. They paid Farrakhan for aid, and now I can prove it. Stop talking, you know? See, because they said they combine together with one mind. The antennas of Edom and Ishmaelites, Moab, Hedger, right? Ammon, and Amalek. Who's Amalek? All of them. If you read all these, they're Palestinians, all of them. All on board. I ain't weeping for them, because they all turned against. They got our lands. We think Morocco, that's where the Moors came from. They was all black. Then now you go to Morocco now, what you see? Algiers, Tunisia, Egypt. They betrayed us and they took our lands. This is Ishmael. They don't want us to rise up either. Said the dragon looked by and see the destroy them as soon as we were born. They're all against, I keep telling you that. And then Farrakhan said, yeah, man, we're gonna be Sunni. And you ever seen Angel Key? That's the golden calf. You understand the Angel Key? That's it, right? Let us deal wise with them and multiply it, right? That's what I just told you. Always figure out a way that you won't see it coming. Okay, this is one, right? River represents the war with China. And we loose the four angels, having prepared to the hour, day, and month, year, or they may kill a third of men. And the number of armies of the horse twice mirrors every number that means 200 million. 200 million man army. Only China and India could do that. You only got 300 million people in America all together, women and children. These are just 200 million, just army. That's what it is, right? That's the war they want to go with China. And with that, they have to draft everybody. Then once they grew up, then they make peace. But you don't see that coming. You don't see any of this. Farrakhan's one of them. He don't see any of it. What you say here? And dragon stood aside a woman being about to give birth, in order that whenever she give birth, the child her it might eat down. He was watching. Who's the dragon? That's House of Sod. Which also includes his angels, which is God, Magog, and Antichrist. To watch, see about we trying to be about to rise up, about to be born. When they were born in a day, come on us. We heard such a thing. It's going to happen suddenly. And they watch it. This when this happens. When the four winds blow. That's the track, bro. It says connect the dots. Here's Arabia. Just look at our map. Our promised land, but their promised land is America. And they lost America because they attacked us, and they were thrown into hell. They were thrown out of the garden, out of America, into a life of total misery forever. Hell. Read Exodus. Read Genesis. Okay, now so let us play again, brothers and sisters. Let's see if we play it right this time. I don't know what happened. And so and then that'll close out. I think I got through all of it. Somewhere wrong.
Could you give me?
So I'm gonna let it play again. Okay, brothers, so I'm gonna leave it there. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go.
Yes, sir. Dr. Guy, could you give me how did you become aware of it?
A colleague of mine who I referenced previously, Chris Mellon, he wrote an extensive article about this, that there were other incursions of drones over Langley before this, as well as many, many military installations over the last 5 decades.
And it's my understanding that there's been an ever increasing in number, and I'm trying to think how to say this because I wear 2 different hats. I'm still in the Air Force. So I mean, it seems that they're becoming increasingly brash. And the question that we really
with a non-human life form.
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
I just want to read a couple of things from Mr. Schellenberger's what he gave to us today, because I think this is interesting stuff, and I just want to convey this to you. On USG networks, there exists infrared footage of and imagery of a grouping of vessels engaged in SIGINT and massive collection at night in a specific area of the Pacific Ocean. This footage, which was in close proximity to the vessels, a large equilateral triangle UAP suddenly appears directly over the ships. These three bright points are seen at each bottom corner of the UAP, which is observed to slowly rotate on its horizontal axis. And he goes on to describe that. And I just want to read one more, and I'm doing this because I think it's interesting. Stuff is interesting as anything. So let's get this one here, right here. While performing a routine airspace surveillance and control mission in the Eastern Air Defense Sector, an F-22 fighter observed multiple UAP contacts at mission altitude. Moving to intercept, the F-22 pilot noted multiple metallic orbs slightly smaller than a sedan hovering in place. Upon vectoring towards the UAPs, a smaller formation of the metallic orbs accelerated at rapid speed towards the F-22, which was unable to establish radar locks on the presumed hostile UAPs. The F-22 broke trajectory and attempted to evade, but was intercepted and boxed in by approximately 3 to 6 UAPs. And then I'll leave that there, but because I just have no more time left. She
on the line. I know many of you have already said this, but just for the record again, just briefly, what do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
I echo my colleague's comment, sir.
Genuinely do not know.
Don't know, but we must find out.
None of you? Okay. This next question is for Mr. Gallaudet. To your knowledge, have any USOs ever outpaced our submarines?
Yes, ma'am.
At what magnitude?
I don't have the exact speed, but again, a witness came to me, a credible former submarine officer who observed it on sonar data. And this was in the 80s in the North Atlantic during a storm, and it outpaced his submarine by orders of magnitude.
Are you aware of any hotspots that currently exist off our shores in North America?
Not with sufficiently credible data, ma'am.
Okay, we've heard reports of there potentially being hotspots, maybe entry and exit points. Have you heard of any of that?
I have not, ma'am, but my colleague here, Mr. Elizondo, does discuss some USO activity that he's observed in certain DoD databases.
Mr. Elizondo, in regards to these aircraft being piloted by whatever they might be, non-human biologics, would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers, and in other cases they seem to. I came across an email where the word "stalked" was used in a very secure email between Navy officers discussing their ships being pursued by a UAP.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin. I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G-forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is it's an older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G-forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So I guess, would it be safe to infer that they're living craft?
I'm not prepared at this point to state for the record, is something alive or not, because even that definition, there was a time in science we thought that life required oxygen, and we now know that's not true. There are anaerobic bacteria that thrive in oxygen environments that lack oxygen. And so also same with photosynthesis. When I was in college, I was told everything is derived from photosynthesis as a form of energy. In reality, that's not true. There are things that live off of chemosynthesis. So we're constantly having to reevaluate our understanding of what the definition of life is.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you ever come across reports from people that claim to have firsthand experiences with these entities, whatever they might be, or these aircraft, and then as a result, whether or not they're religious, find that these things will automatically disappear? Anyone, and this is open to any of you on the panel. So just real quick, because I'm running out of time. Blue?
Ma'am, I've always been a nuts and bolts kind of guy when I was at ATIP. I was focusing more on the performance characteristics and less on the potential occupants.
Okay. The reason I ask is because it seems like just based on our conversations that we've had people that say that there are good and bad of whatever these things are. And so my concern from a national security perspective is A, that true? B, are you guys hearing the reports of that? And C, I think moving forward in regards to technology, Mr. Gold, if you can answer this real quickly, some of these aircraft, it seems that they are operating off of energy that we don't currently have. But just yes or no, in your opinion, if we were able to obtain that. Would that impact humanity for the better or negative?
Would certainly save us some money on funding on Artemis.
Definitely.
And this is a national security issue, that there is such technology out there. We're not the only country that might have access to it. We don't want to be on the wrong end of technological surprise.
Okay. Thank you guys for your time.
Typically had any experience with submersible objects?
Sir, I've not no personal experience, but I've had witnesses on submarines come to me and say they've seen on sonar data.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you characterize those, and how do they move?
The one instance that was revealed to me was in the 80s on a nuclear-powered submarine, a ballistic missile submarine, that the object exhibited the characteristics of a Russian torpedo in terms of its speed of movement and closing rate with the submarine, and then it slowed and followed the submarine slowly in its wake for a period of minutes, and then rapidly exited the scene. And nothing that we know of, and technology-wise, could replicate that.
And the speed of these objects was faster than anything that we have or anybody else has that would be manned. Is that correct?
It was on the order
Underwater.
of a torpedo. So
Yes, sir.
Mr. Elizondo, hope I got that right, or not at least.
Close enough, sir.
You're familiar with the recent drone incursion over Langley Air Force Base?
Yes, sir.
The owners of these drones remain unclear. The U.S. military has not been able to give us in Congress an answer. Given your experience with the Department of Defense and the intelligence community, how frequently are UAP sightings over military installations? And secondly, I suppose hypothetically you could have incursions over just, say, regular airports. Is it obvious these incursions are more likely over military facilities than just a random airport out there?
Yes, sir. There's definitely enough data to suggest that there is certainly some sort of relationship between sensitive U.S. military installations, also some of our nuclear equities, and also some of our Department of Energy sites. There is a long historical record that some of your colleagues may have, documentation that demonstrates this. This is not a new trend. This has been going on for decades, and that information has been obfuscated, unfortunately, from folks like you in this committee. And I think that's problematic, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we have a significant situation here. We have something that can enter into U.S. airspace completely with no attribution.
And how long has this been going on?
Sir, decades. And there's information that will hopefully be entered into the
Can you
record.
think of any possible reason why they can't release any information they have on something, say, 15 or 20 years old?
Sir, if I could echo my colleague here, Admiral Gallaudet, I think one of the big issues that we have in the intelligence community, Department of Defense, is we don't want to broadcast any potential vulnerabilities or weaknesses in our national defense systems or on intelligence collection platforms. Therefore, when you have a conversation where you address a problem for which there is no solution, it makes that a very uncomfortable
Okay, Bill says that's the last one anyway, so I'm not sure why it stops it like that, but that's the last one anyway, so. But the problem, the situation is that it, say, told me it's UFOs, and the thing you need to consider, they are going after all the nuclear sites, nuclear submarines, stalking them and checking them, and they're interrupting them. And when they show up, they're not hiding. So they're fully aware of them. They have tapes on everything else. So they're not afraid of them, right? I mean, the ships are not afraid of America's military, whatever, right? They surround their planes. They going around their sites. They monitor their sites, and they can't do anything about it. Because that's why I was telling you. That's Master Muhammad's one of his primary jobs is that as this war continues, right, that they don't try to nuke the planet. It will not be a nuclear war. I told you that will not be a nuclear war. But they will try to use, attempt to use it. False Israel will try to use it when it's around it, it's about to go down, and it will not be able to use it. That's what Muhammad's doing. That's why it says when they go near the sites, they say the sites are interrupted, electronics is disturbed, and everything else. So that shows you they control it. You understand, bosses? I'm gonna leave it there.